Our time here in Savannah, Georgia is over. We've been parked at the same spot for 3 whole nights, which was awesome. And now we're headed to Charleston, South Carolina, and a couple stops before and after it in order to explore Gullah Geechee culture. It's something that someone on my Patreon asked us about, and I was like, well, let me look more into this. And this is really a cool story, and I can't wait to tell it to you.
Hey everyone, I'm Louie and this is my Pitty William. We live full-time in my self-converted vintage Aerostar and are traveling the world, well, currently only the US. For the next few months, we will be living, working, and exploring in the southern United States, hoping to debunk stereotypes, learn some history, and eat some good southern food. Oh, and did I mention my mom and her pup are also along for the ride. Thanks for watching and subscribe to find out where we end up each week. And a special thank you to all my patrons, and an extra thank you to my patrons who pledged in the better recognized tier and up.
Bye, Savannah. William is ready for a drive. He's like, where are we going?
It's really cool to see how everything is interconnected. After doing some research, I began to learn about the Gullah Geechee Corridor. The corridor is a national heritage area and includes the coasts of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, and Florida. I wasn't even aware of the culture until we reached Savannah. Not only are the old cities we have been visiting just freaking old, but they all have Gullah Geechee culture within them in common. The enslaved in this region worked on rice, indigo, and Sea Island cotton plantations. The Gullah Geechee people are people who are descendants of enslaved West Africans. Gullah Geechee is a Creole language that is spoken in the area and sounds like this.
But anyway, went to Ghana and I saw some of those, the sites over there. You wanna know now why Charleston became so famous? I just asked people, why you think they went and captured those ancestors and bring them here? Well, they give me all kind of answers. But I said, listen now, let me tell you. They bring them here because their ancestors would know how to plant rice.
We were on our way to Kaw Interpretive Center, outside of Charleston, to get a look at some of the rice fields that the Gullah Geechee worked on. But unfortunately, we didn't do enough research and the dogs weren't allowed to come in. So here are some photos of the rice fields.
Okay, so change of plans. There is a storm and tornado warning out, so we aren't going to go to the interpretive center that we wanted to go to, but we're gonna head to Charleston and just hunker down and get ready for the storm. This is my first time in a while being around a tornado watch, so I'm a little worried. William, are you feeling salty? He's like, where are we going? Because we were supposed to get out and go on some walks in the forest, but the lady was like, 1, no pets, and 2, she was like, we're closing at 1 because there's a severe storm and tornado watch. And I was like, oh, well, that's good to know. So yeah, should be fine, but we're gonna head to Charleston instead. The storm is definitely coming. I don't know if this is the safest place to be. Well, I guess the weather has decided to do its thing. So we are stuck in the van, basically. I mean, we could go out there, but we don't want to get struck by lightning. So we are just going to be, I'm just going to be doing some chores in the van then. I really want to clean everything up. Weekly you gotta really do a good clean. I've been putting off doing dishes for a few days now, so it's probably time that I do them. And yeah, it'd be really nice if we could collect some of this water to do some of the dishes. I suppose that'd be a really good option if you're in a really rainy climate in your van. That would be freaking awesome. I'm just gonna be doing some chores, cleaning up the space a bit, and yeah, waiting for this weather to pass. It should pass by 6 p.m. Liam's not a big fan of the thunder, so I'm having to cuddle him, make him feel less scared because he's afraid. Oh, it's okay, baby. So yeah, today was a bust. We didn't get to go really and see anything. We just took the dogs on a walk. Now that the weather is cleared up, but tomorrow will be a better day. And we're gonna show you around Charleston tomorrow. And so there's this national forest that we want to take everybody to, and we want to go to too, of course, but we want to take everybody there because it has to do with the Gullah Geechee people, and they're really excited to go there and be in a national forest. And yeah, so we'll catch you tomorrow. Today was kind of a bust, but that's how things go sometimes, I guess. And it was kind of nice to just hang out in the van and like not feel obligated to go anywhere or do anything. Just chill out. So we'll catch you tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be a nice day, and I think it will be. Okay, bye. So it's the next morning, and now we are going to go on our walk through Charleston, and it's a beautiful day. Oh my gosh. It's a Mitsubishi Delica 4-wheel drive. Look at that beauty right there. Oh my god. And it's got the crystal light roof. Oh my gosh. Look at how beautiful of a van. I could live in one of these for sure. And look, it's got the right hand wheel. So cool. Such a cute van.
If you haven't picked this up from watching any of my other videos, I'm really interested in highlighting African American heritage and history, and this series in particular. It is also really cathartic for my mom and I to get in touch with this side of our ancestry, as I grew up really only learning about the other pieces of my ethnicity. I feel like it needs to be talked about more, and I feel like all of the obvious history about wealthy plantation owners, the economic structures of the time, and colony history is spoken about the most. So here's another piece of African American history that I find to be important. And I understand that it makes some people uncomfortable to listen to this history, but it is so very important that we know these things as to never let them happen again, and understand why there is still racism in our country today. It is unfortunately the fabric of the US. So we all know that slavery was abolished in 1833. However, though it was illegal, public slave auctions were still going on in antebellum South until 1856. Then a slew of privately owned markets were opened up, the Old Slave Mart here in Charleston being one of them. This went on until 1865 when the Union occupied Charleston and freed the enslaved. The mart was then a tenement dwelling, a car dealership, and then was officially called the Old Slave Mart in 1938, which displayed African and African American art. However, this is pretty interesting. The owner believed that slavery had been good for African Americans. In the 1990s, it became a museum highlighting the history of Charleston's slave trade. So if you really think about it, it wasn't really that long ago that people still believed that slavery was a good thing. I mean, that owner believed that it was good in the 60s. That was not that long ago. That was only like 60 years ago. So interesting to think about.
I noticed that the names here, like this street is Queen Street, that one, or no, this is Church Street, that's Queen Street. In St. Croix, the names of the streets are like that.
Really?
Uh-huh. I wonder if it's like, you know, obviously
Yeah, it
it's
has
the
to do.
history of the,
I mean, it's just as old.
and who named the streets and all of that, you know?
Yeah. I know I've been recording a lot of people's vans and stuff today, but this is another really cool option for people. They're in there. I think these are the coolest things ever. I would love to get one of those, but like do just the shell, you know, and then build it out myself.
Alright, so I'm going to attempt to make the connection between modern jazz music, the Gullah Geechee, and Francis Marion National Forest. A lot of music that was sung by the enslaved Gullah Nation was used as code for things like notifying everyone that an opportunity to escape through the Underground Railroad was coming. So a distinct culture of soulful and meaningful song was developed over time by the Gullah in this region. Fast forward to the 1930s. The Civilian Conservation Corps during the Great Depression created jobs for men by building parks to conserve natural resources. These companies were segregated, and Black CCC workers helped to develop Francis Marion, as well as the Great Smoky Mountains National Park and the Blue Ridge Parkway. It is recorded that it was common to hear Gullah Geechee music that was passed down for generations in the Marion National Forest camps. Which brings us all the way up to today. A Grammy Award-winning band named Ranky Tanky, which loosely means work it in Gullah, makes music that is a fusion of jazz, blues, gospel, and R&B. In an article published in March of 2020, the band is described to have found its soul and inspiration from the very Gullah music that was sung in the rice fields and played around a campfire in this very forest. You see, things are always interconnected, and much of who we are as individuals and as a society is all affected by the past. Making these connections can really help with understanding why music like Ranky Tanky's is so soulful and has a major theme of freedom and Black power, or understanding that it wasn't that long ago that hatred and prejudice was accepted. So I hope you can see why I love to talk about these topics and why I really have come to love history. For me, it helps to make sense of the world and my experiences, good and bad, and I really hope it can for you too.
So we tried to go to this national park. It seems like the universe doesn't want us to be like where we want to go right now, but we tried to get to the national park, but all of the spots that you normally can camp are closed off, and we presume it's probably because everything's just like tent camping only right now. I guess because of the pandemic. So yeah, we are moving on to another spot. This forest is beautiful though, and I really think the story behind it is very cool. So we will get our forest fill some other time, but yeah, it's really nice to be in a forest again. Like, I'm a little nervous about being in forest and like out in the middle of nowhere after what happened like at our last campsite. So it's like I gotta like get back into the whole thing, the whole camping thing, and feeling confident about it. So yeah, it's been nice though it's been nice driving through here. I wish that I got more footage of it while we were going through like the dirt roads looking for a camp spot, but next time. Sometimes things don't work out and you just move on. So we made it to a Cracker Barrel close to Congaree National Park, and you know, today kind of felt like a bust, or like this mission to go explore Gullah Geechee culture and like visit some places that like can kind of put the information to the name and like the people and all the information that we've been learning about it. I think the important lesson here is that the information is important and good no matter what, even if you don't go to these places, you know, even if you aren't able to see the places, which was our preferred thing to do, but you know, things on the road don't always go the way you plan them. So I think what's important is that we recognize these cultures and we know they are a part of the fabric of our country, or of the US, because not everybody watching me is from the US. I have to get rid of that ethnocentric kind of viewpoint that I have. I mean, for most people, you won't be able to see these things ever, and I think that's a good reminder to me too, is that just because you don't see the things necessarily actualized doesn't make them less important or less of a fact, less of a thing. Like, for example, like you might never visit a plantation where people were enslaved and where people lived and went through a lot of fear and pain, but that doesn't make it less true. It doesn't make it less of a fact and a piece of our country's history. So I think that this was a good reminder for me that you don't have to necessarily go to a place in order to recognize a culture, in order to appreciate a culture and its beauty. So I'm glad that we're able to go to Charleston and see that city and get a feel for it and, you know, feel the energy of the city. So yeah, so we decided to just come to a Cracker Barrel and hang out, and yeah, I'm just chilling, watching music videos and drawing in my journal and just relaxing. I mean, that's gonna be it for this video. I hope you did learn a little bit about Gullah Geechee culture and what information I could give you about it and about the town of Charleston, but I hope you enjoyed this trifecta of like really old cities here in the South of St. Augustine, Savannah, and Charleston. I think through this, it's really like broadened my perspective of this country. Like I said in the previous video, I
really did always think of the US being just the US, you know? Like, I think my eyes really opened up when we were in New Orleans that there have been other countries that have had colonies in this country and who colonized land before the US, you know, owned it. So it's kind of interesting. Yeah, and I hope that maybe for at least one or two people out there watching this video that maybe that has come, that like this theme of the fact that, you know, there's more to the US, there's more to this story that a lot of us are taught, and I hope that you learned something, because I learned a ton visiting these 3 cities, and I'm really grateful to have been able to share what I can and what I learned with you. So thank you for coming along. As always, I appreciate you, and I just hope at the end of the day that you're getting something from these videos. That is my main goal with this channel, is to, besides enjoy making videos, because I love making videos, but also teach things and take you along. And you know, I know that travel isn't accessible to everybody, and I hope that in some way out there in the world, wherever you are, you feel like you're going on some adventures and traveling to new places that you never thought you would really think about. So a lot of these places I never thought I would go to. So I'm really, really, really grateful to you and for you watching this video. So have a great day wherever you are in the world. I will see everybody in the next video. Bye. Also, go subscribe to my mom's channel. She's really excited about it. Okay.